How big is too big for a TV? If you're in the market for a high quality, massive TV, then you should check out this U7 series by Hisense. It has been, in my experience, one of the best TVs I've used in the past few weeks. This massive 98-inch beast may blow your mind, and here are 15 reasons why. What do you think a large TV like this will cost though? Let me know in the comments below. And without further ado, let's get to the video. The first and most obvious reason anyone will want a TV this size is, of course, the sheer size. It is the literal definition of the elephant in the room. We already discussed a much larger 120-inch TV on this channel before. It was the laser TV that functions like a projector, and we had to keep that one. This one is a standard TV design on a really large panel that does everything right. Unfortunately, it's a review unit, and I'll have to return it eventually. Hisense calls this a ULED TV, which basically means it's a high-quality LED screen that can display 4K. As simple as it may sound, this is a very important feature for a TV of this size. When it comes to a large display or large displays in general, any resolution lower than 4K will not allow you to properly enjoy the viewing experience since the pixels are spread out over a larger surface area. You need a high resolution that can match this scale. Also, the best thing about this TV is that there are a bunch of other features that aid that 4K capability to offer the best viewing experience in terms of the quality. So let's look at those features. The first one is full array local dimming. This may not be a feature that you've heard of or heard about before, but it's a pivotal part of the viewing experience that you get on an LED TV like this. This feature is designed to improve the contrast ratio of your LED TV. Naturally, the LEDs do not have the best contrast ratio to show deep blacks like OLEDs, but guys, an OLED TV of this size will cost many times more. With local dimming, Hisense is able to split the LED backlights into different sections that can dim individually, so the darkest parts of the image can be dimmed separately without affecting the brighter parts of the image, thus making it have a very good contrast ratio. The full array local dimming that Hisense added to this TV means that you will have more precision with the contrast since the LEDs are spread across the screen in a grid-like pattern. All this technical talk is pretty evident in practice, and this TV gets very deep blacks. I was also impressed with the viewing experience. So it's safe to say that this is as close as you can get to those OLED level contrasts on LED TVs. Now let's talk about the QLED Quantum.tech here. Complementing the contrast that you are getting from the full array local dimming and all the colors and image quality that this TV offers, the sharp images and vibrant colors that this 98-inch U7 series TV is able to produce is as a result of Quantum technology that functions with the LED backlight. This tech is designed to offer the best possible image quality at this screen size and at this price point. Keep that in mind. One thing to point out, however, is that when it comes to colors, you may want to switch it from the standard picture mode to one that fits your preference, but more on that later in the video. Possibly my favorite thing about modern TVs, apart from the heavily improved quality compared to the kind of stuff that we all grew up with, is all of the smart features, and this TV packs a ton of them. The operating system is the Vida U6 operating system, and it is a very well designed interface with an intuitive experience. You get access to all of the apps you need, from Netflix to YouTube to Prime Video, DSTV Stream. All of them are just on one straight line right there. You also get a web browser, UEFA TV, FIFA, and a host of others. There's also an app store that you can explore if you ever need more apps. Speaking of apps, the Vida platform also offers a companion smartphone app that actually maximizes the TV as a smart TV, but we'll get into the details later in the video. Now, beyond just apps, there are also a couple of optimization features that really amplify the smartness of this TV. The first one that caught my attention is the game mode feature of this TV. Now, most of the time when it comes to modes on TVs, you actually don't notice any serious difference, but I have to say that this one is different. The HDR effect shines brightly with compatible games, and its high refresh rate also makes it an amazing choice for gamers. But what makes this really smart is that by default, the TV is set to automatically detect when you have turned on a game and switch its settings to optimize for gaming. This takes the stress off your hands so that you don't have to fiddle with the settings every time you turn on a game. The caveat here though is that it may sometimes detect certain animations as games and then start blurring the motion. So if that bothers you, you can turn it off completely. Similar to the game mode, there's also sports mode for when you're watching football matches. It can also auto-detect and optimize the TV to give you the best colors and motion on screen. You can also change the picture mode at this point to sports mode, which makes everything a little more saturated, and it is very pronounced in the greens of the pitch. It does take a second or two for your eyes to get used to the very vibrant colors, especially if you're coming from a more tame color profile. Apart from that though, this is just one more thing that adds to the overall viewing experience with this TV. Still on the topic of improving the viewing experience, Hisense does a lot of optimizations to give you what they think is the best quality. There's a feature on this TV called Smart Scene, and what it does is adjust its settings based on just what you are watching and also based on the environment that you're watching it in. When I turned on the feature, I couldn't tell if there was any particular difference under different scenes, but I guess that's kind of the idea, offering you the same viewing experience whether you're watching it in a very bright room or a very dark room. But it's better to watch it in a very dark room. Alright, let's leave the visual stuff for now and let's get into the audio features. In my opinion, this TV has pretty good speakers. As much as sound quality can be subjective, there's a standard for what a good speaker should sound like, and this one is that. This sounds very good. One icing on the cake that I genuinely appreciated is that you can switch the different sound modes and actually hear the difference in sound. Switching to each for the specific thing I was viewing actually went a long way in improving my listening experience. You may find the standard sound mode to be a little too heavy on the bass, so unless you're into that kind of audio, you can switch based on your preference. Another impressive audio feature that you get on this TV is Dolby Atmos. An immersive display is best appreciated with an immersive audio quality, and that is exactly what the U7 series is trying to offer here with Dolby Atmos. It does its best to make this sound as immersive as possible with two speakers that have been mounted at the back of the TV. And if you're interested in the specs, these two speakers have different ratings of 15 and 20 watts. Here's how they sound for gaming. For music, and for video.
You can't save it! Eject! 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 Eject!
Another audio feature that caught my attention was bass boost. If you are all about that bass, then you will definitely love this feature. Going into the audio menu settings and selecting bass boost will allow you to adjust the bass levels in the overall audio produced. I tested this out and it was quite interesting to hear the variations as I went up and down the slider. Another thing regarding audio that I think is worth mentioning is that it has a wall mount mode. So in case you're considering mounting your TV to the wall, we did not mount our own since we're returning it to Hisense, but if you purchase this TV and you want to mount it, you can rest assured that it will not hurt your audio experience because there's a mode for that. Finally, concerning the audio, if you prefer to have a dedicated system for your audio, you can always connect external speakers via Bluetooth or other wired methods. We always recommend EARC, and this brings us to the ports that you have available. The HDMI 3 and 4 are HDMI versions 2.1 and they're set up to do 4K at 120 Hz, while the HDMI 1 and 2 are capped at 4K at 60 Hz. You can also use the HDMI 3 port to connect to your soundbar for EARC, which is still the audio connection that is the best one. For more audio connections, there's also a 3.5mm port and an AV in port. The two other ports at the back are the USB port and the service port. For context, the service port is for technicians in case they need to install diagnostic code or manually install software updates. You won't be messing with any of that. You've also got a LAN port, digital audio out port, and another USB port. What? Let's talk about the remote control. On the surface, there's not a lot that is necessarily out of the ordinary when it comes to the way this remote looks. It feels and looks like every other remote that you will lay your hands on. It has the plastic build while the buttons are made out of rubber, the standard stuff. There's a decent travel distance when you press the buttons on here. It is like very nicely deep and clicky, but that's not what makes this remote so great. No, that's not what makes it so great. What I really enjoyed about this remote is the functionality. Apart from the fact that you already have most of the apps that you need as a shortcut at the bottom, where it always is, one thing that genuinely amazed me is the voice control feature. The voice control delivered perfectly so much that it made me want to use this more often. It's integrated with the video usage software that allows you to search for specific things with voice control, and it will open up those things seamlessly. Open YouTube. open Fisayo Fosudo's channel and play his Changing Lives project video. This happened just now. That's so cool. The voice search feature is only functional on YouTube for now. For other applications, the best that I could do is open different softwares. Once you're in those apps, you have to move around with the regular controls with the buttons. So if you try the voice search, it will give you a prompt saying that this feature is not available within that app. There's also the Vida companion app that I mentioned earlier in this video. The first thing that impressed me with this app is how seamlessly it pairs with the TV. As soon as you launch the app, the TV will know and display a code that you can pair directly with it. Once the two are paired, it opens up a world of possibilities for remote controlling, casting, media sharing, and even remote installation of applications. Like with almost every other thing that we've mentioned in this video, this is yet another feature that is added to improve the overall experience of having this TV, justifying that amount that you spend on this TV. And Hisense deserve the credit for that. Even as I installed this TV, the first thing I did was set it up right away with my phone, with the Vida app, and I didn't touch the TV except one time to turn it on. So I think that's just cool. So with all that being said, we have finally come to the price tag. How much does this TV cost? As at the time of making this video, this TV will cost you a little over 2.6 million naira, which I think is a fair price for everything that Hisense has packed in this ginormous TV. I think that they really maximized the space that they had with this TV, and it shows in the features and the way it looks. Something even more worthy of note is that this TV is assembled in Nigeria. Yes, your TV, this one right here, is actually assembled in Nigeria, and it's actually cool to see that this, something like this is used to create jobs here, and it's going to be much better for the customers in terms of a more nuanced and quicker customer support and even maintenance, since there's that closeness to manufacturing right here. Your TV is assembled here, you can easily know what to fix or what to look for. Thanks to Hisense for sending us this review unit, and I'll be sending this TV right away back to them. Sadly, I wish I could keep it, but yeah. What?
Yeah, I wish I could keep it.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want to get this TV, I'll have a link in the description below to check it out. We previously made an in-depth review of an even larger 120-inch Hisense laser TV, and you can check that video right here. I'll see you in that video. Voice control.